Manchester United players poisoned, Scot Mctominay and Zidane Iqbal really says, I don't want to be part of the Iraq national team because I want to go ahead and really prepare for my time with Erik ten Hag because I need to get to know most of the things that he's really good at and instill them in me. So welcome to United Matters channel. How are you guys and where are you watching us from? Coming in late, but obviously we always don't fail to come. We come up and we'll bring you the latest news and information as far as it's concerned from a side which goes by the names of Manchester United. Strictly, this channel is Manchester United. Smash the like button, comment and share. And if at all you're watching us for the very first time, or you've always been watching us and you've not yet subscribed to our channel, guys, endeavor to go into the right bottom corner and smash the subscription button. After smashing it, hit the notification bell that will enable you get notified each and every time I upload a video onto this channel, which goes by the names of United Matters channel. And Rock and David is my name. Obviously, we keep it Man United news, and we are having a very shocking story coming in from Manchester United as far as the players of United being poisoned. The story was brought to us by The Sun Football, and it's Neil Katz. He is the United correspondent for The Sun, and he has told us that new Man United players plus staff were hit by a bout of suspected food poisoning following their Europa League victory versus Sheffield. It is understood up to 12 of the United camp were affected, meaning that the food poisoning was realized when the game was done. Don't know whether the players really played when they're really having or were poisoned. We can tell, but obviously the players really got poisoned in there at a side which goes by names of Sheffield in Moldova. So it's really something hard to come out and say who really came out and poisoned the players, because you just look at what the scope is like and it's hard to tell. But I know with investigations we will get to know what really happened. I remember in 2000, the season of 2000 and was it 2004, 2005, Arsenal was not going to go into the Champions League and they had to beat Spurs. And guess what happened? Towards the start of the game, players of Spurs, close to 6-7 players of Spurs that were starters, really got what we call food poisoning, and they were poisoned. So it was really harsh for these players, and Arsenal beat Spurs, I think 3-1, and they went to the Champions League. They made to the top 4, but they are not going to make to the top 4 if at all those players were not food poisoned. So food poisoning is part of the game that is illegal, and if at all it's going to be found that it was the Sheffield team that really did it, obviously the UEFA will go in and really penalize this team. Now, Neil Curtis has gone ahead to let us know that the club is trying to look into whether it was something the group had eaten while in Moldova or on the plane on the way back. A handful of players missed training on Friday because of it, but some were okay again to train on Saturday. So it shows you that food poisoning was there, and it really sounds bad because for a life of a player, you wouldn't like such things to happen to him or her, because they really turn off the fitness of the player. You see, football players are really made to go on and train. That's why you see to it that when a player returns from injury or a suspension of like 2 or 3 games, he doesn't look sharp, because there is what we call match fitness and training fitness. Very many players are fit on training, but the match fitness requires different outputs altogether. You've seen very many people say that a player is really training very well, he's one of the best players training on the field of play, but obviously the match situation really comes out and nullifies him totally. So it shows you how much this is and how much this is respected in the game of football. Like a manager, Erik ten Hag, you see how he's really trying to give minutes to his players. Casemiro comes in, he plays 10 minutes against Southampton, he plays 30 against Leicester City, he plays like 15 against Arsenal, he plays 90 minutes against Real Sociedad, he plays 45 against the side which goes by the names of Sheffield. So it shows you that fitness is really something that is gained. Look at Ronaldo struggling this season. Now, if at all a player backslides because of poison, then it would be bad, because this is not an injury, it's not a disease that was really planned for, it's something that was really staged, and the team has to go ahead and really investigate on who was responsible for such stuff, because it's really very, very, very bad and it's uncalled for. And I believe that the club will go on and really look for that person responsible for poisoning or food poisoning the players of United that never really showed up in training morning after winning against Shell. So smash the like button, comment and share. Your reactions to that are welcome into the comment section below. Let's get into this story that is really worrying to me. We've been told by Manchester United Evening News that if Scot McTominay receives a yellow card in his next 9 Premier League games, he will receive a 1-match suspension. He has 4 yellow cards after 6 games. This is worrying, and this is why I tell people that you might be seeing the positives of Scot McTominay, but he really needs to use a lot of effort to really win that midfield. If at all in 6 games he has 4 yellow cards, meaning that for every 7 games, Scot McTominay is not going to be playing for Manchester United. When you remember the yellow card he got against Brighton, very stupid. You remember it? When he really went high on the shin of Casado, then he went on Umbreno, a stupid foul, after losing the ball in the midfield when we lost to Brentford by 4-0. You remember that very well. And the other one was against Liverpool, I think. And the other one was against which team? Is it Leicester? So, 4 yellow cards in 6 games. That is something Scot McTominay needs to work on. When I come out and say that Casemiro is going to come into this team, people really believe that I don't like Scot McTominay. Rokan has an agenda on Scot McTominay. But look at Casemiro. You get? He's going to come in and play all those minutes. But the way he really does his tackles, they are really known to all that yellow card calling. But Scot McTominay goes ahead to do the needful and then does the worst. That's what we call washing and after put your clothes in the dirt or in the soil. So because a man like Scot McTominay should be knowing when and how to tackle, and most of the tackles he has conceded are because of his poor football controlling skills and trying to really risk in those final areas of the pitch. And sometimes when he loses things, when he loses lots of things, when he loses the ball, he finds tackling a player stupidly as something easy for him to do, to go in as, to use it as an escape route. To me, I believe it's really uncalled for, and he should really continue to really learn on how to behave, especially when he's really playing as a central defense midfielder. Because trust me, the most important player in the pitch to me is a central defense midfielder, because he's like the pivot. That's why they're calling the pivot. The pivot is really very crucial for everything that happens, for every car, you look at the fulcrum. You remember when we looked at the fulcrum, the pivot is really great. So in that area, Scot McTominay needs to learn on how to really improve on his discipline, because that means 4 or 5 games will be missed. 4 or 5 games he won't be playing for United because of really getting those reckless yellow cards. I believe he should go ahead and really stop that. And in the game we are going to play against Man City, you can't really rule out Scot McTominay not getting a yellow card. That's it. The only way he cannot get a yellow card is when Erik ten Hag decides to play with Scot McTominay, Eriksson, and Casemiro as a midfield 3, with Casemiro playing as a CDM and Scot McTominay playing as a box-to-box midfielder. Something I believe he's not going to go for. He's not going to go for that. He's really going to play with Bruno as a cam, Scot McTominay, and Eriksson as a double midfield pivot, with Scot McTominay covering the back 4, which is going to expose him to a lot of running and tackling, because Man City is going to have the majority share of the ball. Not so? So this man, Scot McTominay, is in trouble according to me, and I'm worrying for him because after the Spurs game, let me see, after us playing Spurs, after us playing Spurs, let me see which other team are we going to play. A fixture against Spurs. Alright. Sorry, after playing Man City, we are going to... Okay, Omonia will have to play that game of football. And Everton We'll be playing Everton, meaning that we miss the game of Everton if Everton gets a yellow card against Man City, and we come up on Monday, then Newcastle at Old Trafford. So I believe it will be a very huge boost for Casemiro to come in and play, a blessing these guys. If Scot Mctominay gets a yellow card in the game of Man City, that means he's going to be away for the game of Everton, and Casemiro will go ahead and really play a very huge role into that game of football as far as that match is concerned. But all is really rotating on Scot Mctominay getting stupid yellow cards. To me, I believe out of those 4 yellow cards, was any of those really a professional foul? A yellow card called for? I remember 2 of those. One, when he went high on Caseido's shin, you remember that very well, in the game we lost 2-1. That would have been even a red card. Even the game against Brentford, when he really slid into Mbeumo after really losing possession in the midfield area. Those 2, uncalled for. For the other ones, I don't really recall. But those 2 I really remember as fouls that were uncalled for by Scot Mctominay, because he went in for things he cannot do. So let's wait and see what's going to happen for Scot Mctominay. But keep him in your prayers. But it's very hard to go on and really believe that Scot Mctominay is going to play an entire game of United, as we talk on a side which goes by the names of Man City, and he doesn't get a yellow card, because I know he's really going to be one of those players that Ten Hag is really going to employ because of his work rate, his physicality, and the way he has really improved a lot. I must say and send a shout out to Scot Mctominay that he has really improved his game, especially his forward passing, the way he really receives the ball on half turns. I rarely saw him receive a ball on half turns and doing so much progressive play or passes in the central axis area of the midfield, but he has always gone ahead to go on and improve, and his advanced passes are really great, and he's no longer negative. He is really so much positive minded as far as his passing game is concerned. Then we've been told by Manchester United Evening News that it has been confirmed that Zidane Iqbal has been left out of the squad for the Jordan International Tournament later this month, as he wants to focus on his personal development at Old Trafford under Erik ten Hag. To me, there is something special with Zidane, even when you see him play. And I believe Ten Hag is grooming another Donny van Beek in this player. I believe he believes in this player plus Charlie Savage. Why does he believe a lot in Charlie Savage and Zidane Iqbal? Zidane Iqbal, you see, this is the reason, cancelled to go into the Jordan International Cup. He wants to really concentrate with Erik ten Hag at Carrington to really improve or better his game. And Charlie Savage, what shows you that he's so much into the plans of Erik ten Hag and wants to train with the first team every time the first team is training. On Friday, the United under-21s were really playing, and he only played 45 minutes. When Dempsey, the coach of the under-21s, was asked why he really took off this player at halftime, he told the media that obviously Erik ten Hag wants him to take part into training with the first team, meaning that he had only to play 45 minutes. So when you saw this duo play into the preseason, that is Dan Iqbal and Charlie Savage, they complement one another. I believe Erik ten Hag is building something that's going to help United further, and it's going to be very hard for us to go on and really spend more money in that midfield area. I think if I were to spend, we are going to go on and really buy one midfielder, but I know he has great plans for a team, for these players, and Zidane Iqbal is really undoubted. Charlie Savage, undoubted. The way they make playing football easy. Even Charlie Savage, even Robbie Savage, the father of Charlie Savage, was really amazed, because this was not how even the father played. Charlie Savage is more different from how his father used to play the game of football. His father was rough, not even hard, rough. To an extent that referees came in through knowing that if at all you really give him a yellow card on his first 3 fouls, meaning that he's going to get a yellow card, they could wait for him to make close to 6 fouls, and on the 7th foul, that's when the yellow card would come out. I don't believe whether his father would have played football in this era of VAR. He wouldn't. But Zidane Iqbal is really a talent that we must look at, and Erik ten Hag is really making it a point that this boy really stays at Carrington to really improve on his levels. And I know very soon, there is a games that Iqbal will come into, especially games of a team which goes by names of Omonia. Those two games, that double tie. I think we will kill that. We'll kill off that game early enough, and then Iqbal get a chance to come in and play like the Garnachos got a chance against Sociedad and Shelf. So the Elangas, I believe Zidane Iqbal is going to come in, and when he gets his chance, trust me, he's really going to go ahead and really prove us that he's Premier League ready. People say he's not Premier League ready, but if Arsenal brought in a 15-year-old player to play into this game of Brentford, then how tell me that Zidane Iqbal is not Premier League ready when he's even 19 years of age? Best passer of the ball at Old Trafford, at Carrington. And who said that? It is Erik ten Hag. However much you see Eriksen is a better passer, Ten Hag told us that Zidane Iqbal is the best passer of the ball, and he's wondering why it took him so long to penetrate through into the first, meaning that he has huge plans for the boy. And this lad is talented guy. Zidane Iqbal, very talented, and that's why he's not going to play for Iraq. Then Mahad Karim, the managing director of the Iraq national team, said Zidane Iqbal and Ali Al-Hamadi have apologized for not joining the national team because of their desire to focus with their clubs. Obviously, a lot of future is really ahead of Zidane Iqbal. And to me, I believe there are players that are really lucky. Zidane Iqbal, Anthony Elanga, Alejandro Garnacho, Charlie Savage, the Layards of this world, this other guy that really plays as a center forward in that under 21s. I've forgotten his name, but these players are really blessed because for the very first time ever since Alex Ferguson left, I think we have a manager who is here to stay, who is going to be here for the next 5 or 6 years. And I know if Ten Hag really performs very well, he can be at United for the next 10 years because he won't like to go anywhere, because he's building a system that is here to stay, and he's really calling for changes at Manchester United. So if at all Erik Ten Hag stays at Manchester United for the next 1, 2, 3 years, 4, 5, 6, Zidane Iqbal and Charlie Savage are really going to get straight into this team. Remember, 3 years from now, Scot Mctominay will be nearing his third floor, his third decade in his age. Then Freddie, obviously for him, is phasing out, 29 years of age, nearing 30, meaning that even a contract to be given to him is going to be hard, according to me. So Casemiro is 30. Next 3 seasons will be off, meaning that Erik ten Hag is preparing his other midfield pivot that is really going to go on and do the needful for this club. That is Charlie Savage and Zidane Iqbal. And obviously, I do trust in this boy. So guys, thank you very much for watching in. Tell me what you think about United players poisoned as they got from shelf in there for you. They want to know whether they were poisoned on the plane or in Moldova, and investigations are underway for this. Then Scot Mctominay, what do you think about it? To me, I believe he is really getting yellow cards that are really uncalled for, according to me. And he's been using a lot of energy. He's been using a lot of energy instead of the brain. And when you look at the game of Erik ten Hag, he really wants you to employ your brain a lot. But I think ever since that game of Brighton and Brentford, Scot Mctominay has turned into a more intelligent player. He's using more of his brain than his energy, and I believe that will really help him in the next games. And I believe he's really going to change a lot. A lot is going to change about him in the next games because he's really doing a very good job at the side which goes by the names of United, especially into that midfield area. From the game of Liverpool, Arsenal, Southampton, Leicester City, Shelf, he really played very well in those 5 games. And I believe in those 5 games, he has got I think 2 yellow cards. But in the first 2 games, he got 2 yellow cards, meaning that if at all he reverts that and turns it into a 10-game, 3 yellow cards, then that means that for him to really miss out on any game of United, he needs to play 20 games, and then he misses out on 1 game. I think if at all he raises that bar to that level, I think no one will be having a problem with him. But obviously, to me, I believe 2 yellow cards he got in the big 2 first games of the Premier League we played against Brighton and Brentford were really uncalled for. He wouldn't have gone in for such fouls. Thank you guys for watching in. Smash the like button, comment and share, and tell me what you think about Zidane Iqbal staying at United to focus onto his club football in here onto the United Matters channel. Rock and David is my name. I sign out for now. See you later. May the Almighty God bless you abundantly. And guys, I'm coming back with the second video. I'm just watching the game of Atletico Madrid and Real Madrid. Real Madrid has already scored through Rodrigo, an assist from Vinicius Jr. If at all you want to see more of that reaction after that game of football, the channel to be is Rokani Media Football. That's where we do other sorts of news for other teams. But here, we do only Manchester United. May the Almighty God bless you abundantly and do the needful. Do what? Fear only God. It's what? Fear of God in there for you. If you have the fear of God, you are destined for higher levels and successes. I'm out.